Good evening, beautiful collective. I'm feeling nervous. I'm feeling nervous, and part of it is me, and part of it is more than me. But now is the time to broach the topic which I desire to speak about on this evening. And I'm gonna get into pulling this nervous energy as well in a few minutes, because I do want to let it express in as many forms as possible. For that is my desire and what I'm here to do, to let the energy flow for myself and for the collective and for another one, because I want to talk briefly about the experience of what is known colloquially now as the twin flame phenomenon. And when I say that word, I'm very aware of the complicated vibration it carries. It's become a part of the popular lexicon, and as such has been kind of tossed around. I myself am guilty of this, responsible for using this word to try to conceptualize and define something which is inherently indefinable and far beyond three-dimensional conception. And so it's a word that has become a little convoluted vibrationally, like many spiritual words. God, that's a big one. That word has almost no relation to the concept which it initially was used to describe nowadays. And I have no intention of presenting myself as an authoritative figure on this topic, or really any topic. I only speak from my own experience, and that's what I desire to do. And personally, I have, in my own experience, come to the realization at this point that attempting to explain and define, even by scientific means, this level of soul connection is ultimately fruitless and really not beneficial. It only serves to play into the desire of the three-dimensional mind and ego to put things in a box. And that's what it was designed to do. It was designed to process sensory information, and there's a lot of it to process, an alarming amount. And so it creates a hierarchy, and once that hierarchy is established, incoming information is filed away into the closest fitting container so that that processing power can be freed up for more things. And it just does nothing to explain this kind of experience. It is like attempting to rationalize the soul itself, because this level of connection, which is energetic, it is etheric, it is far beyond physical. In fact, the physical is the last layer to experience it. And so it necessarily transcends logic completely. Logic cannot make sense of this kind of connection, which I will describe and refer to as a complete energetic match. from the source level, I'll say. That is my experience. Because I do have a sense that there are different types of flame journeys, whatever that means, if it means anything. The very word soulmate has countless definitions. Every person who is a part of your life is a soulmate. Your family members are soulmates, your friends, the cashier at the gas station, all of those are soulmates. So that word has no consequence whatsoever. And I do not find it helpful to put a label on this. Certainly not anymore. But it is my experience, and I have a desire to share it for my own self. If it benefits anyone else, then that is extra delicious. It is so indescribable that it is difficult to put into words. Thank you. My understanding of this connection, which to me is more of a mirror, it's less of a twinning, perhaps. There are some who describe it as one soul in two bodies, a shared energetic system. Some who say it is the two halves of the divine spark as originally manifested from the Creator. And none of these are wrong. But again, the labeling of the thing does very little in explaining the actual experience. It is a little bit of missing the forest for the trees. The map which we make of the landscape is not the landscape. And even in all our most detailed notes and attempts to reproduce it physically, still it pales in comparison to the experience of the beauty of actually standing on that cliffside, smelling the air for ourselves, feeling the earth beneath our feet. There is no way to rationalize or conceptualize that for another. It must be felt. And that, to me, is the core of this connection and experience. It is a knowing that absolutely transcends every function of the rational mind, and in fact flies in the face directly of such attempts to logic it away. It is necessarily something which challenges every previous concept you've experienced of attraction, of love, of a connection with another even. For in seeing this person, it's an instantaneous recognition at a level beyond conscious comprehension. The logical mind sees this person and says they do not fit any boxes which we have previously designated as desired. It is not someone you would have ever predicted you would end up with or want to be with. Not someone you find any logical reason to be drawn to in such a way. Certainly not one who would fit any previous definition of a type, Because in the moment you meet, all of that flies out the window completely. It is just a resonance and reverberation of every portion of your being that knows. It's just a knowing that you love this person you've hardly met, hardly spoken even, perhaps. And yet, that doesn't matter. You know. And the logical mind attempts to rationalize it away. It is an outlier in the data, an anomaly that it simply cannot make fit. And reason even would say this is a mistake. You are wrong. Something, clearly there is an error in our sensory processing here. Because it doesn't make sense. And still the heart and soul knows and do not care. Because it is a love that supersedes ego entirely. It encompasses ego. It transcends ego. It is light years beyond dimensionally. Because that's what unconditional love is. It is the all which contains everything. And this is a knowing and an attraction and a love which goes all the way to the source, all the way up, without question. How do you know that? You just do, because nothing else makes any sense, only that. And suddenly the rest of your life makes sense. Suddenly it all is perfectly aligned. And every relationship you've ever had that didn't work out, it's obvious why it didn't. And every experience in your lifetime, in all of your lifetimes, suddenly appears to have been leading to this, preparing you for this. Because looking in this person's eyes, there is not just a recognition of a kindred soul or an old soul even a past life lover of some kind, soulmate, deep soulmate connection. It's a source connection. And seeing their physical presentation, it's as if seeing the soul worn on the outside. It has nothing to do with the details of how they look. It's just a pure expression of self that is recognized and appreciated instantaneously as exactly right. It just makes perfect sense in your eyes. Every portion of it, there's no question, no mystery, no confusion. It's all just known as exactly right. And my understanding of this is that it is an energetic match, so precise, so detailed and nuanced, and so exact at every level. Because it is as two higher purposes are aligned. Two free wills, two free souls. necessarily unique, one of a kind. There is no other that can be exactly you. And yet, somehow, in all their journeying through every lifetime, they simply desired so much of the same thing that their higher selves became aligned. Their own higher purposes merged as one. And when this is witnessed by Source, it becomes Source desire for these two energies to merge. Not individual desire, divine will. Source and spirit align like components. That is what the universe does. It is the law. And in seeing two components which are such an equivalent reciprocal match to one another, Source delights and says, these two shall go together because there is no other way. There is no other match as precise and complete and alike. It shall be so because Source desires it to be. And then this connection becomes a part of the divine plan itself. And nothing else makes more sense to me than this. And the moment these two individuals meet in 3D, the very moment that there is an eye contact connection, soul recognition, the energies merge. It just happens. They merge, they are in union because it so transcends every level of physicality that the three-dimensional concept of consent is not required. Energetic consent is all that is necessary for the universe to align like components. And the moment these two energies meet, recognize one another as equivalent and reciprocal, desire the union, because that is energetic consent, is desire for it to be. That's it. And then it is. And they are never separate again because they do not desire to be. And whatever occurs, whatever presentation is in the 3D has no relevance to the energy. And it is profoundly beautiful beyond any description. I could write 1,000 books of 1,000 pages of poetry. I could sing every song ever written, and none of it would come close to describing the experience. And I would not trade this for anything in any lifetime, in any realm or dimension. This is mine. It is divine. It is bliss. It is exactly right and all aligned. And I am proud of this. This is my authentic self. Thank you for listening. I will pull a few cards because I desire to. That is the only reason for anything I ever do. We'll see what the universe has to say. What are the energies like tonight, loves? Chariot, crossing the Knight of Swords. An urgent desire to speak truth. An urgent desire to unburden oneself. Chariot sandwiched. Yeah, an urgent desire to unburden oneself, to leave behind this disillusionment, because the knowing of the soul is too strong. And it wants to give love. It wants to give love to itself, because there's a recognition that this connection, it goes all the way to the self, the soul, source, highest self, the one that is shared. That's what this love is. It's a love of spirit, as manifested in one another. Bookended by the Knight of Wands. An urgent desire to speak truth. To uphold the highest good, highest path and purpose. And to honor the self, the individual experience, the collective, and the whole, the one, the all. Because this is a deeply spiritual connection. When I say spiritual, I mean of the realm of spirit, the highest dimension. Pure light, pure source, pure love. The one which contains everything. There is strong emotion here. Just peeking at the cards underneath. Still a judgment of the short-sightedness of certain decisions, but they could not be any other way. One cannot see the horizon until the fog is lifted. And until then, everything is necessarily short in view. This too is designed. And now the horizons are visible. And they are bright. Three cards. Three cards. What does the universe wish to speak on this topic? Beautiful, benevolent universe. What message do you have for us tonight? Another shuffle. What would you like to share, universe? Take that one. Bottom of the deck first. Ace of Cups. Unconditional love. The love of spirit, of source. Disappointment. Leave it at that for now. Anxiety. And the Hierophant. This is what has been revealed by this portal, by the Hierophant coming. The disappointment with the 3D disillusionment. It is further reinforcement of that. And there is disappointment with the self. And with certain patterns of behavior. But this is why, so that these patterns could be revealed. So that a greater truth could be known, so that this could come to an end. This is why. So that the cup could be refilled and made pure, as with the love of source. Why is the Hierophant here? To encourage communication. Because it is scary. Because it is nothing short of a miracle for all of this to take place. Because it is an act of divine. Why is the Eight of Wands here? An earnest desire for new love. An offering. It is nervous. It feels small, but it is not small. Because it has all of the universe and all of the might of spirit behind it. And that too is a part of this purpose. Why is the Five of Cups here? It speaks for itself. There is a recognition of the truth, the higher truth, which could not have come at any other time but this. It is not too late, nor too early. It is exactly on time. It is exactly on time. Why is the Lovers here? It is the light at the end of the tunnel. It is a desire for reconciliation. These swords still look like sticks to me. They still look like wands. And that is a victory. A hard-fought victory. Fart hot. Now we're getting goofy. And there's a relaxing, a realization that this doesn't have to be a disappointment. No shuffling, okay. Why is the Nine of Swords here? I love this card. Because a recognition this deep in the soul is terrifying, because it naturally produces this result to the logical conscious mind. It cannot make sense of this. It's not supposed to. It's not going to make sense to anyone else. It's not meant to. That's the point. Why is the Six of Cups here? It's not supposed to make sense to anyone else. It's for them to figure out on their own. The fox has been deceptive. It has withheld a truth, a singular one. The truth of the recognition of this. But that withholding is what is causing the anxiety now. This is message from the universe, not me. Beneath the Ace of Cups is the Chariot. Switch briefly. 3 more cards I will ask and clarify. By the way, King of Cups, crossed by the Wheel of Fortune. The King of Cups needs to get up. He's ready. Because it's divine intervention. It's divine intervention. There we have the Six of Wands. It's divine intervention because this is a victory. It is the real thing. It is the real wish come true. For all. Because this is divine, this is the higher will, and it benefits the all in a way that, again, is not comprehensible by the physical mind. This type of alignment of energy, this work that we are doing by growing ourselves and taking this journey, is shifting the consciousness of the earth. A cat is going to make that known. That it is the most important thing. To do what you desire and not care what anyone else thinks. Because that is divinely inspired and promised victory. Something else has come to an end. I think the end of suffering as well. Because the Knight of Cups and Knight of Pentacles is right underneath. Three more cards from the universe, please. A parting message. Parting message. Thank you. Thank you all. The cat is chewing on my shoelaces now. I painted this. He is feeling the urgency as well. As I've said, he's a divine masculine. And he wants some love. Many weeks ago, I painted this. Homecoming. Union, obviously. Marriage. Spiritual union. Sacred, divine. Complete. Okay. 10 Pentacles still there. 6 of Wands still there. Temperance. These came back in a block. I'll shuffle one more time. Just for the sake of it. For the sake of clarity. Like these cards stayed exactly together. Divine victory. It is as though the light celebrates, because it is. Because it is as source desires. Far transcends and supersedes even the individual experience of self. But even so, all is aligned. The good of self is the good of self all the way up. 3 more cards just to be clear. Okay. Just to be clear. Just to be clear. We're done leaving the soul out in the cold. From the top of the deck. God bless it. Just to be clear. Thank you, universe. 1 more card just to be clear. The Knight of Cups. These two are read together in this instance. We'll start from the beginning.